Home staging has been around since the 1970s, but in 1992, HGTV arrived and changed forever how home buyers view homes. It was in the early 2000s that home buyers started looking at properties online, and they were heavily influenced by high-resolution photos, video tours, 360 tours, virtual tours, and very soon, virtual reality tours. And since then, in order to capture the buyer's attention and stand out from the crowd, home staging has become a routine part of the home selling process. According to the National Association of Realtors 2023 survey, 48% of home sellers saw a decrease in time on the market when the home was staged. Now, some home sellers spend thousands of dollars hiring professional home stagers. In fact, 24% of those home sellers hired professional home stagers. But you don't have to spend thousands. There are other options that you can do that will fit in your budget. Now, as soon as you decide that you are going to sell your house, you want to sit down and you want to decide what your staging goals are. Now, when you're getting your house ready to sell, the first thing I always recommend is that you make a mental shift of turning your home into a house or a property on the market. And the reason is because you're trying to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Your home has all the comforts that you live with, all the things around you that make you comfortable. It is your home. But a property on the market, you're trying to appeal to people outside of your home. You're trying to appeal to those buyers that are looking at your home online. So getting yourself in that mindset that you're going to be taking the things down that give you comfort. You're going to be moving furniture that may not be in the place that you normally want it to be. You're going to be doing some minor renovations, like painting that living room that you love the color so much to a color that appeals more to the buyers that are on the market now. And it's not uncommon for home sellers to think, well, that's the color that I like, but the buyers can paint it themselves. The problem is that buyers shop with their eyes first. If they see the color, they don't like the color, they're going to establish an impression. Even though, yes, they can logically paint it, that's not going to be the first impression, and first impressions are everything. Now, after you have mentally shifted and gone from a home to a house on the market, you're ready to make the changes that are necessary, and you've set your goal of making this home as appealing as possible to the average home buyer in your area, the first thing that I want you to do is to move out before you move out. So you're probably thinking, what the heck am I talking about? What I'm talking about is I want you to start packing. So if you're moving anyways, you decided you're definitely putting the house on the market, get ahead of it and start packing now. Pack before the house goes on the market. You've got a twofold benefit here in that if you have a buyer right away, you're not scrambling to pack the house to meet the closing date, but additionally, it's going to help you with your staging. I want you to reduce the amount of stuff that's in the house. You're going to be taking furniture out. You're going to be taking pictures down, personal pictures and personal items off the walls. I want you to start packing those things. I want you to start packing the other things too. Start cleaning out cupboards, cabinets, closets. I want you to start thinning out the house and start packing. Some sellers get a storage unit. Some sellers put it in a garage, neatly stacked in boxes. But I want you to start packing. And when you do that, you want to depersonalize. Now, you've heard about depersonalization with your getting your house ready for sale. And yes, that is absolutely what you want to do. There's a couple different reasons for that. Number one, it's decluttering the house. But number two, it's allowing the buyers to mentally move into the house. If a buyer walks in the front door and they see all the pictures of Junior all over the walls, they can't see themselves in the house. It's harder for them to see themselves living in this house because now they feel like they're in your house. But what you want to do is you want to take all that stuff down like you're walking into a showroom and have as much as possible generic pictures. I'm not saying remove every personal picture. It's okay to have a few, but I am going to tell you to pack as much as possible. And I want you to take things off of hallways, especially. That'll widen up. It'll give you the perception of a bigger space. Everything off the refrigerator, everything off the kitchen counters, minus maybe a coffee maker. You want to put all that stuff, that personalized stuff, away, pack it away. Now, while you're packing, if you've been in your house for a while, you may want to start purging. Now, I see this all the time with home sellers, and what I'm going to say is I'm going to caution you in getting too far deep into the purging part of the process because it can get extremely overwhelming. That part of the process is usually where I see the most stress with home sellers because they don't want to rush through and just get rid of things, sell things, throw things away. They want to kind of take their time, going through the things that they have and purge so that they don't have to pack it and bring it to the next house. house. That process is going to bottleneck your whole staging process. What I advise is that you pack everything. Now, if you have separate boxes for those items that you want to purge, if you have items that you're like, I definitely need to go through that when I get to the next place, yes, put it in a separate box. But don't spend too much time purging now. Pack everything, label everything. The goal is to get the stuff packed up. When you're packing, I want you to take note of how much furniture you have in each room. The goal here is to have 3 feet of space, walking space, in and out of every room. The living room, 3 feet of space around the sofas, around the chairs, and if you don't, then you probably want to pare back on some of that furniture. This might be a good time to do some furniture purging. If there are items that you do not plan to take when you move, now is the time to get rid of it. Less is definitely more when it comes to furniture. And if you can get rid of that furniture, open up that floor space, the more floor space that is exposed, the bigger the space will feel. Now, I just wanted to take a quick second to let you know that I am connected to thousands of real estate agents across the country. I have built relationships with these agents over the last 25 years, and so I'm connected with the ones that are the best in the industry. So if you are thinking about selling or buying or know someone that is thinking about moving, click the link down below in the description box. There'll be a short form to fill out. I'll get in touch with you and connect you with one of the top agents in the country that will take great care of you. Now, as you're doing your packing and you're purging of furniture, you might start to see repairs that need to be made to the house. So you might be thinking now at this point, repairs, like I thought we were talking about staging and moving furniture and maybe hanging some pictures, not making repairs. Well, repairs is part of the process. Repairs is what's going to help accentuate the staging of the home. And those are the things that stick out like a sore thumb. If you have pulled out furniture and you've highlighted the home, if the home feels airy, and then you see worn wood floors, or you have holes in the walls, or you have damaged trim, those are things that are relatively easy to address, but are going to stick out like a sore thumb to a buyer. Now, when you're talking about making repairs, you could easily go down a rabbit hole of all the things that might need to be addressed on your house. But what I want you to focus on are what are the things that the buyer is going to see as they're approaching your house and walking into your house. Now, the extent of the cosmetic items are going to be limited only by what your comfort level is and what you're able to fix, or outsource to a handyman, a contractor to fix. When you're talking about repairs, I want you to start outside first. I want you to stand at the curb, look at the house, and approach the house as if you were the buyer. Try to imagine what they see as they're walking up to the house, making their first impressions. Now, as you come into the house, you want to look at the condition of the flooring. You want to look at the condition of the baseboards. If you have animals in the house, you have dogs or cats, and they scratch at that woodwork, that is something that I absolutely would recommend that you address, either by repairing it or replacing it. Now, I want you to pay attention to the flooring. If you have tile that has cracked tiles and you have extras that you can replace it with, and it's within your means to do so, I would recommend doing that. If you have flooring that is hardwood floor that can be refinished, I would typically recommend that you have that refinished. If you have carpet that is old, worn, torn, stained, then I would definitely recommend replacing it either with carpet or something else, depending on what it is typical in your area. Now, when you're looking at your paint, if when you took down all your pictures, you can still see where the pictures were hanging, you need to paint. Or at the very, very least, clean the walls. You want to look at the paint color. Again, reference back to what you see online, Google what the common colors are now and see how your house fits in. If you have a lot of dark colors and the trend is more neutral earth tone colors, you probably want to paint them. Now, I did a video recently about repairs that will actually add value to your house. You can check that out here. Okay, so you've done all the repairs and now it's time for deep cleaning. And deep cleaning is so underrated. Deep cleaning is so important. You want to start with the windows. You'd be shocked at how much dirt and debris builds up on a window over the course of a year. And when you clean it, it allows more light to come in, which makes the house feel bigger. So cleaning the windows, cleaning the storm doors. And after you're done with the windows, you want to move on to the curtains and the window dressings. Heavy curtains, I typically advise taking them down. But at the very least, you want to wash the curtains. Blinds, shades, vertical blinds. You want to either take take them down or clean them. If they're yellowed, you want to replace them or just get rid of them entirely. And then you want to clean your flooring. And this typically happens right before the house goes on the market, but you want to have a professional cleaner come in to do the carpets. On the tile, you can use a steam cleaner. You want to make sure you clean that grout really well. I have a great steam cleaner. I'll leave the link in the description that'll clean all that buildup that collects over time. But you want to make sure that tile's super clean and the hardwood floors. And then after the deep cleaning is done, then you can do your final touches. Maybe after you've taken all your personal pictures down and you've painted the walls, you have completely bare walls, I would go buy inexpensive wall art just to fill and accent the space. If you can't afford to replace the carpets and the carpets are really, really stained and they're really in tough condition, get an inexpensive area rug. The same thing with hardwood floors. If the hardwood floors are very worn and you don't have the funds to have them refinished, or you don't want to deal with having them refinished, get an area rug. And then lastly, walk through the house as if you were the buyer. Look at your dining room and maybe add a bowl of fruit or some flowers. In the living room, look at the end tables. Is there a book or a couple magazines to accent it? You want to stage it not as your home, but as a property on the market to make it feel inviting to the buyers. Going through all these steps and getting the house ready is a lot more work than just putting the house on the market as is. However, if you go through the process and do the cleaning and the repairs and the decluttering and the staging little accents, it will sell for faster. It will sell for more money in your pocket. And if you want a few more tips on upgrades that will improve your property value, check out this video. I'm Jen Sylvester, and I'm here to make you a savvy home seller.